All right, so in this video, we're going to be talking about why you need to write in the environment. And this is probably one of the best things that I can share with you guys to help you get better at copywriting. And again, another huge shout out to Harry Dry. This guy is an absolute animal. And he has a quote. Again, I don't know if it's his or if he got it from someone else, but he says, copy is like food. How it looks matters. Okay. And so the point of that is like you could have a steak come out. It tastes amazing. Or you could have a pasta dish come out and taste amazing. But if you're looking at it, you're like, "Ugh," like, I don't know, that doesn't look good. Like, I don't know if it actually tastes that good. Again, it's copy is the exact same way. And it's, if anything, even more important in copy because the chef might tell you to just eat it. Like, trust me, it's good. Whereas most people don't trust you, right? So that's why how it looks is very important. Okay. And so this module is going to be showing you guys where to write and how you can actually use specific tools. I'll give you guys one as well. But the biggest thing that I need you to stop doing after watching this video is to stop writing ads in Google Docs and to stop writing ads in Notion or ClickUp or any of these other places. Okay. Because it's not the environment. You need to write in the environment. Okay. And what I mean by this is I'm going to show you guys how to actually optimize the environment, because obviously we can't go into Facebook, and it would be really cool if Facebook had this, if Facebook had like a briefing tool, but like you can't just go into Facebook and start writing your ads inside of there, right? You obviously have to build some kind of a brief. So how do we do that? Well, we do that by optimizing the brief. Okay. So that's why we use a tool like Milano. You can also use Figma. Figma is free. If you guys just want to use Figma, it's totally up to you. With defined cards for essentially how each scene should look, especially for hooks. So let's go ahead and take a look at what our new and kind of like optimized template looks like. For those of you that have seen our Milano template before, all of this stuff here is still the same. So we have the ideation, like, hey, what's the client's name? What's the DCT number? Where's this linking to? Do we have any ad examples? What's the type of ad, sizes needed, all that kind of stuff. It's all clear here. But now what you'll notice is we've gone from this, visual and copy. So for those of you that don't know what this used to look like, our existing brief, let me actually just go ahead and pull it up. It would just look like this, where we have copy and visuals, and that's it. And what I've found, and I've even been a victim to this as well, is like where we just write the copy here and then we send it to the editors. And same thing here with like the hold. We just write the copy in one big thing, and like the hold is a little bit different, and we'll touch on that. But we just write all this copy and you don't actually think about what it's going to look like. And then what ends up happening is you get the video back and like your hook is like 4 lines long, and you're like, oh crap, like that actually doesn't look that good. And a lot of you guys are just like, well, whatever, that's what I want to say. And then you push it, right? Whereas here, when you go and take a look at this new template that we're using, this new brief template, like think about how this makes you write. Like this is how it's going to appear in the feed. So if you're trying to write a hook where it's like your back pain isn't your fault, that might look pretty good. But even here, I'm like, I don't know if this like looks good on one line. Should I maybe put it in 2? And that's what's kind of annoying about Milano right now is like sometimes it doesn't like you, it changes the sizes, stuff like that, but you can just fix it easily by going to text style. But here, right, it's like, for example, if I just said this to the editor would make it look like this. But to me, that doesn't look right. But I like how this looks a little bit better. Your back pain isn't your fault. That looks cleaner to me. Like, you guys see what I mean by that? Where if you just write it on one line, like your editor might just edit it like that. Whereas like just this one little change just looks better. And then some of you guys will write really long lines, right? Where it's like, you might write a hook like this and you can optimize it, but like, look how clunky that is. It's just this bleh. Like, what is that? And so in copyright, again, because it matters how it looks, this will force you to start to think more creatively. And you guys will learn this down below, but a great headline is just a good headline made shorter. And so a great hook is just a good hook made shorter. Right? And so here, now you can start to come in and edit and start to like pick apart words because you're writing in the environment, right? So you struggle with back pain for years. That might not be, maybe that's too clunky, right? Maybe years in pain, we could simplify this down to, right? Years of back pain. Look at that. Now we've simplified that down so much further, right? Years of back pain. And now it's time to start fighting back, right? And beat it for good. Beat it for good. Maybe we can just get rid of that. Maybe that's not needed. Years of back pain, and now it's time to start fighting back. We could maybe just change this to years of back pain ends here. Look at that. Kind of saying the same thing, but now it's much cleaner. And we could potentially even, again, how does this look if we bump this down? Oh, Mila, no. Years of back pain ends here. What do we do? Do we like this format better, or do we just like the one line better? Like, what looks better, right? You can start to optimize this stuff when you're writing in the environment. Okay. And so for hooks, it's an absolute non-negotiable because of how important hooks are to make sure that you are writing in the environment. And this is how you write in the environment. Now, if we go down here, you'll notice for the hold section, and what I like this, and you can kind of optimize this, I would say more towards like the bridge. So this is like hold, and I'll even just optimize this for you guys, like hold/bridge. This is very, very important. So we have this, section here where it's like the hold/bridge. So I think if you have a specific bridge for a specific hook, then you 100% again should come in here and optimize how the scene will look. Because again, think about giving this brief to your editor. Obviously you're doing more for the editor, and that's why it's important to train your editors and help them get better, so that way you don't have to do this. But especially if you guys are potentially struggling and not on the same page, or you want to get on the same page with your editor, it's very important for you guys to go through and like kind of explain how you visualize it, because sometimes ads come out and they don't look exactly how you thought they would look, because you have a different idea of potentially, these lines are all on the same slide, right? Or the editor might think actually these are separate, right? And so again, some of you guys probably have processes for doing this already, but when you write in the arena, it helps you see it. So again, this can just help you think through every piece of copy that you're writing. So here, when you're writing a bridge for potentially this hook, you could just rename this up here, hook 1 bridge if you want. And then this bridge then leads to the hold. Now you guys don't have to write every single scene. And obviously if you guys do want to write every single scene, it's very easy. If you're using Milano, it's like you just come down here, you just copy it, you paste it, you bring it back down, and there you go. Now you've got a few more sections here that you can optimize, right? This is not like an individual hold. This is all one hold. So this is like scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, scene 4, scene 5, scene 6, all the way through, right? Now, obviously, if you're writing like a 4 or 5 minute VSL, that's going to be a lot of scenes. And so at that point, that's why we have this over here, where we kind of have what we call like the editor's choice hold, where you let your editors kind of do their job. And obviously you show them like, hey, I'm thinking through every new line is probably some kind of a new slide or something like that. Although again, sometimes you are trying to get 2 lines of text in on one visual. So like this could be, again, if I just come in and optimize this could be, visual of, old dude holding his back. And this could be for this line, right? And then here, we also might want the same visual. And so here we can just say like, here's the next piece of writing that's going to come, or next piece of copy that's going to come. But this is still, if we put here, same visual as before, right? Maybe a bit of a quicker pace. And so I hope you guys are starting to see like how powerful this is when you guys are kind of pacing your videos and writing scene by scene, especially on videos inside of Milano, by using this template process. Again, you still have the editing guideline over here that you can write, and you'll notice over here we have like the editor's choice hold. So if you guys do have your editors, and what I would say is like hooks are non-negotiable. If you want to do bridges where you're like, hey, here's the bridges and here's how I want them to pace, because for example, this like really long headline that I wrote, you might want to actually say this where it's like you struggle with back pain for years. That could just be the hook. But again, that's kind of incomplete. So maybe down here, we add the next bit of text, right? So this could just be, again, depending on how you want to do it, just make sure you label this, right? And then we just clarify like what we're actually doing here, and you guys can organize this however you want. And this here could be, hook 2 bridge, right? And you guys can optimize this. And so here, you struggle with back pain for years and it ends today. And like maybe this is where we start writing the second piece, right? You kind of have like a hook that like kind of starts small and then goes into another scene and into another scene, right? And so again, it's very important to think through how you want this process to go. It's going to make you write better, and it's going to have you look at your ad and be like, oh gosh, yeah, this actually does look good, or hey, this doesn't look good at all. Okay. Now for images, we do have, and this is it for videos. Okay. There's obviously like, if you edit your own videos, it's a little bit different. You shouldn't be editing your own videos, but hopefully that makes sense. Now, if we go into statics, we also do the same thing here in Milano, where we have like the visual recommendations and the headlines, and headline text goes here, all that kind of stuff. But with that said, if you guys have an idea and then you have a specific example that you want to use to bring the ad to life, what I would highly highly, highly recommend that you do is you guys check out something like Creative OS, even just like the Figma templates, or just finding, if you guys do have inspiration that maybe you find from AdSpy or that you find from Atria, finding a way to like use AI to like templatize it inside of Figma. There definitely is a way to do it with Claude. I just haven't gotten there yet, at least at the time of filming this video right now. You might see that module depending on when you're watching this. But my point is you can come into the editor and look, and you can play with this, right? And you could put whatever you want, and you can optimize this however you want. Obviously, you don't need to do the graph design, but you can at least do the copywriting inside of here, right? Because again, if you were just doing this in a standard like thing like this, you're not able to see how it actually looks. And so when you have these tools where this is like fully in the environment, like you are in the environment because this is what the ad is going to look like, and your editor is just going to kind of cook it up. But here it's like pajamas that feel like a hug. It's like you can come in here and write this stuff. And if you have these ideas, and again, I'm pulling this off the top of my head with zero context about this brand, what they do, any of that kind of stuff. But my point is like when you guys are in here optimizing and writing in the environment, it forces you to write differently. Okay. So Creative OS is a really cool tool if you're in the template section to be able to just kind of pull this stuff. And you guys can even see like this one that I just showed is obviously pretty simple. Like this is just a standard headline, but like, look at this one, right? Like if you had an idea for this, where you're like, all right, let me customize this template, and you're like, okay, what am I going to write? I have this idea for this ad, right? Where I want to talk about being bloated, but like, think about this, right? Think about how you write copy here for your own brand, right? Where it's like potentially you could be like still hungry, ? It's not your fault. Maybe I just simplify it. And then we write here, on average, most people, eat empty carbohydrates or eat empty this, and that's why they feel this way. But this one supplement fills the gap and satiates you longer than whatever, right? And you can see here, boom, they have like this little timeline. Like this is actually kind of interesting because they're saying there's all these nutrients, there's all this, there's all that. But my brain kind of went to a timeline of like, week 1, you experience this, week 1, you experience that, blah, 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 right? So you can start to come in and take your concepts, see somebody else, like take the idea that you have, see somebody else's concept and plug it into that. And I think that's what a lot of great marketers do. And that's what we've done. We have our templates here, right? And so these are the templates that we have created that we've pulled from like other winning ads. Like this is bread, this is breakfast. We turn this into a template, and it's like this forces you to think more creatively, right? And think about how clean this is, right? And so that's why I love about ideation, where you have ideas and you've done research to understand what your customer wants, but then you see great ads like this that essentially force you into thinking more creatively. And that's what I love about when you actually write in the environment, you write differently. Okay. And I've seen so many times our team take an ad like this and literally like try to write copy that is way too long for it. And then like it comes back and they're like, oh, wow, this looks terrible. It's like, yeah. Whereas if you were just writing copy to fit this template, and again, sometimes that forces you to make your copy sharper. Sometimes it can make your copy worse. So you got to study copywriting to get better at it. But this is my whole rant with all this kind of stuff, between looking at all these different templates, Creative OS, going into the new video briefing process, as well as the static briefing process. You should be thinking through how your copy looks. And the best way to do that is by writing in the environment. So that is how you can write in the environment, not just why, but also how. And again, those templates and examples of the Mila note will be down below, as well as a link to Creative OS if you guys want to check that out. And again, the winning ad templates, I just kind of showed you where to find those, but I'll link them anyways. And again, hopefully this helps you guys just get better at writing copy that looks good and also, reads great and makes your customer feel something.